I'm Jennifer Lester, and I'm the music director of the Seraphim Singers. The Seraphim Singers began when a colleague of mine, who is a church musician also, needed to put together a pickup choir to sing a piece that he had transcribed for a class project. So he called all his singer and organist friends together, and we got together and sang this piece. Well, we had such a good time, we thought we should form a group. So about a year later, after thinking about it for some time, I got on the phone and called them all up and said, I'm forming the group. And that's how things got started. We gave our first concert in 1997. I think when we set out with the Seraphim Singers, we were very much interested in keeping our own skills up as musicians and performing music that would be beyond the skills of many of our own church choirs. We were interested in performing little-known gems. We wanted to stay away from the war horses that everyone performs. And we also had a strong interest in new music and the music of contemporary composers. I think what sets Seraphim apart is its repertoire and its programming. I tend to not program in a traditional manner of putting 2 large pieces or 3 large pieces together. I will start with a theme and look for a broad range of pieces from all styles and periods that will work with that theme. An example of one of our programs was one that we gave in the fall of 2014. There were many anniversaries that year that had to do with the so-called short century, which included World War I, World War II, the Russian Revolution, the assassination of John Kennedy, right up to the fall of the Berlin Wall. They all seemed to fall in November of 2014. So we managed to find music that referred to all those different events and included also a local premiere of a piece on a Sarah Teasdale program that had to do with the Civil War. So we managed to hit every base, and it made for a very interesting program. The program we recently performed included music that was all settings of sacred poetry, from the metaphysical poets and farther back to Hildegard, right to modern poets of the present day. We were able to commission Richard Clark, who's the music director at St. Cecilia's, to write a piece on a contemporary poetry piece of a friend of his, Adam Wood. That was a world premiere for us, and on the same program we were also able to have regional premieres of some works by John Laukvik, who is a Norwegian composer, setting in English poetry by George Herbert, and also a piece of contemporary Swedish poetry set by the composer Erik Jansson. A third example would be a program we did in the spring of 2015, which centered on the city of Jerusalem. We collaborated with a chamber choir from the local Hebrew college, Kol Arev, and between us we were also able to commission Avner Dorman, who's a well-known Israeli composer, to write a piece for us, which was based on the 70 names of Jerusalem. Commissioning new pieces is a particular hallmark of Seraphim's work. I see it as my version of risk-taking. Some people go whitewater rafting, some people make outrageous bets on the stock market, and I commission composers. I count among my friends several area composers, and many of them have contributed more than one work to Seraphim's repertoire. I also like to kind of go composer shopping to look for people whose voice I think makes a good fit with the group and who have an affinity for the way that Seraphim presents its material. I think that everyone who's encountered great art in the form of music, poetry, or visual arts, all has had the experience at one point where you were brought face to face with some truth that is bigger than yourself, bigger than you can understand and put into words, or even bigger than emotions. Our tagline, opening a window on the divine, reflects the fact that all of us as church musicians have some intimate knowledge of this particular experience. This is what we want to provide to our listeners by opening that window. So I think if you like to be a little bit surprised, you like to hear something new, and you want to see how these things are connected over time, I think you owe it to yourself to check us out. Check our website and see where we're performing next, and please join us soon.